Hey kid, wanna buy this video game?
I don't know, man. It looks pretty boring.
How about now?
These days, in regards to video games, we hear a lot the phrase sex sells being thrown around. Basically, the gist is that Western games bad because they don't have attractive characters anymore, and Asian games are good and they are doing good because they have a lot of attractive characters. Well, that is completely wrong, and sex sells in itself is a completely misunderstood phrase that does not even really apply directly to video games. Let me explain. So of course we have all seen these ads from the 50s, 60s, 70s or even 90s. You know, ad with a good looking man and a beautiful woman next to him. They are usually driving a luxury sports car, enjoying a fancy drink or something like that. It depends what they are selling. And from there comes the idea of sex sells, right? But it does not mean that they are selling sex, obviously not. These ads are usually for lifestyle, often luxury items, because what they are selling through the idea that sometime in the future you might, if you buy this product, get sex, is the idea of beautiful life that you will get if you buy this one specific product. Like if you buy our car, if you buy our watch, if you drink our champagne, then you will have a beautiful life, just like the one that is depicted in this ad. You will have a beautiful woman next to you. Every woman will love you. You will have so much money, and you yourself will look so much better in our luxury sports car. That is how they worked, at least sometime in the past. Maybe. It's not that clear, because these days a recent study shown that using sex sells symbolics or items in the advertising these days will make female audience look more negatively towards your ad and probably towards your product. Men actually don't care. They don't look more positively or more negatively on the ad or on the product. The general idea these days is that for modern audiences, the sex maybe does not really sell. Those old-timey ads do not really work, at least most of the time these days. But of course, I mean, we cannot disregard that attractiveness attracts interest. Like we have seen like pop stars, movie stars, artists drawing pictures, and even game creators making games. They might use attractive characters, attractive images to attract people. That is in the name, right? So, but that does not mean that it actually sells something. Like, for example, let's look at Stellar Blade. At the beginning, probably it got some attention because of the female android that is the main character in this game, her giant butt, right? It got some attention, positive and negative, right? And these days, getting attention is very, very important because everything is fighting for our attention. News media, music, podcasts, video games, books, films, TV shows, content creators on TikTok and YouTube, Instagram, and so on and so forth. Everything is fighting for our attention. So, of course, one of the tools that game creators or any other artist can use to get the initial interest in their product would be sex. But the thing is, it probably does not translate into sales, because video games do not sell you the same fantasy as those luxury product ads, right? Nobody says that if you buy the latest copy of Elden Ring, every woman you know will love you. No, that is silly. Nobody could believe that, right? What video games are selling is a completely different fantasy. They are selling a fantasy of you mattering, of you being important, of you changing the destiny of the world, of you being a kick-ass army ranger, of you being a cool looking demon slayer or anything like that. You know, video games sell completely different fantasy, and the interest of games comes from completely different place. Like if it was not the case, then those weird hentai games, Steam is full of them, would be the top played games. Everybody would play them. But people do not. Why? Because the gameplay is not that interesting. The fantasy that the game offers. Maybe they sell sex like maybe just like porno industry, they are selling you the possible way of sexual gratification, but they are not that successful because we buy games for a different reason. So ask yourself, would Stellar Blade be a worse game if the main character would be Sun Wukong, not the big butt robot? Probably not. And God of War 2018, would the game improve if sex sells from putting a naked lady in it? Probably not. Would Baldur's Gate be better if it would be even more horny than it is? Also, probably not. If sexual tension and sexual images is so important, why did Catherine, for example, made by Atlus, by the way, a very good game studio, sold only 1 million? Okay, you will say that is an old data point. Okay, let's be generous, 2 million. And that is way less than Elden Ring or Assassin's Creed Valhalla has sold. Why? And these games don't offer, at least in their marketing and in their gameplay, do not offer that much of a sex sells, iconography or images. They do not offer, it's not their selling point. They are selling completely different things, but they sell better. So, what I'm trying to say is that sex might attract customers initially, but especially in the video game area, it probably does not correlate to better game. So if you don't believe me, before you go away and before you push like and subscribe for this channel, let me leave you with one question. Do you honestly believe that Starfield would have been a better game if every planet would be replaced by big, giant, honking, huge